Why do the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth have set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the I Am and against the I Am's anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder, and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, and the I Am shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree. The I Am hath said unto me, thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. And thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Be wise therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Serve the I Am with fear, and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him. Psalms chapter 2. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits, who have sway over the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me in my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forever. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're walking with Mr. Clay. Of course, I'm Mr. Clay, and we thank God. We thank God for this beautiful day. Some places it's cold, some places it's super hot, some places just plain old dry, and some wet. But we thank God for the day anyhow, because you're still above ground to give praise and thanks unto the Most High. Yes. And also we thank God for those of you who have been with us since the beginning. We thank God for those of you who have been with us here's and there's about, poking your head in and out. We thank God for you too. And we thank the Most High for those of you who are just subscribing. And we thank the Most High of those of you that are about to subscribe. And those of you who have subscribed, calling those things that are not as though they are. All praises to the Most High. You know, I note one thing in this Psalms. If you look at it, he says now, kiss the Son lest he be angry. And some take that to mean what the New Testament, the Messiah of the New Testament. Yes, they do that. But then the fact is, it says that here, he says that his Son is himself. I'm looking for that scripture that I just read. That's kind of bad, isn't it? But either way, he says, I will declare the decree in verse 7. The I Am said unto me, thou art my son, this day have begotten thee. In other words, whoever wrote this Psalms, he's the one that he's talking of himself. This is the guy who's talking of himself, whether it's David or Solomon. He's talking of himself. He's not talking of the Christ. Look at it. Look at the whole picture of it. I will declare the decree, the I Am said unto me, thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. In other words, I have begotten thee by conversion of heart. Yes. But now here we go again. And then he goes in verse 12 and says, kiss the Son lest ye be angry and ye perish from the way. In other words, honor the Son. Honor me. Is what he's saying. And put your trust in me is what he's saying. This is really a translator's blunder, to tell you the truth. But either way, we have to be careful, because people are trying, they'll take scripture and twist them, and they'll take scripture and misunderstand what the scripture is saying and do not read the scripture in context. So apparently he's talking about somebody, but he's not talking about no Esau. But nevertheless, we're in the book of Job. Yes, the book of Job. Yes, the book of Job. Now, Elihu is coming back again. Elihu is 36 as you prepare. Elihu is coming back again at Job. Now, he's going to give a bit of his wisdom to Job. Now, although Elihu fears the Most High and everything, Elihu still has a religious spirit about him. And he don't know by which spirit he speaks. He doesn't know that, even as we have just read the prayer of Abram, Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20, he doesn't know that this spirit is directing his thoughts as he, and his recollections as he addresses Job. Now, in verse 1, he says, Elihu also proceeded and said, suffer me a little, and I will show thee that I have yet to speak on God's behalf. Now, who are we to speak on God's behalf? He's saying he's an angel, messenger of God. This is what he's saying. Okay? Now, there are men that are messengers. They're called prophets. Messages from the Most High. They receive their messages from different spirits of God that have not fallen. We'll get that straight. Now, angel is just another English word of saying messenger. Divine messenger or something like that. Yes. It says, now, I will fetch my knowledge from afar, and I will ascribe righteousness to my maker. Yes, these people knew who God was. Again, God did not need to be evangelized all over the world to tell people, because it was taught by the fathers. Not only by Noah, the word of the Most High, and who God was, it was also taught by his sons, whom he taught. And it went on until the day that they began to rebel and reject what the Most High had showed them that they should do. In order to live a harmonious life, we have to do those things contained in 10 Commandments. Not only 10 Commandments, but it's not 10 Commandments. We're going to get into that shortly, but it's not the 10 Commandments. This is what the heathen have told you. They're not 10 Commandments, no. They're actually wisdom. It's wisdom. Commandments of wisdom. They're commandments that will tend to cause you to do certain other things. There's one commandment there, thou shalt not covet, that will push you into many other things. We're going to get into that eventually. But nevertheless, it says that, he says in verse 4, for truly my word shall not be false, he that is perfect in knowledge with thee. Behold, God is, the I am is mighty, and despiseth not any. The I am is mighty in strength and wisdom, which is true. He preserveth not the life of the wicked, but give right to the poor. Not because you're poor, you're going to receive what is right from the Most High. The Most High does that in order that you might turn from your wicked ways, although you are poor. Don't think because you're poor, you're in favor of the Most High. Most poor can't. Most of them are, many of them are righteous. They have no other hope but to believe in the entity or the deity that they've been taught from their youth. And some discover the Most High in the process of life. Yes. Now, he withdraweth not his eyes from the righteous, but with kings are they on the throne. Yea, doth establish them forever, and they are exalted. Kiss the Son lest ye be angry, okay? All right, now. And if they be bound in fetters and beholden in cords of affliction, then he showeth them their work and their transgressions that they have exceeded. And when the Most High humiliates a ruler, a president, anyone, just like he's going to do as we're going to behold. We already are beholding it. Many of you just can't see it because you have been blinded by the Satans to not see the Most High working in this very day and time amongst a global arena, in a global arena. The Most High has been working this way for the longest in this global arena, but we've been blinded by religion not to see what is going on spiritually, just by the actions of the people and knowing what the commandments say. Now, Elihu understands this. He says, now, he showed their works and their transgressions that they have exceeded. In other words, because of their sin, their kingdoms are taken over. And we've seen in many instances where even the kings of Judah and the kings of Israel have been bound up and taken into captivity and because of their transgressions. Verse 10, he openeth also their ear to discipline, and commanded that they return from iniquity. Yes, kings, even Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, is a good example. If they obey and serve him, they shall spend their days in prosperity and their years in pleasures. True. Now Solomon did that for a season and enjoyed the pleasures until his pleasures got pleasure. Okay, if you understand what I'm saying. But if they obey not, in verse 12, they shall perish by the sword and shall die without knowledge. Such as Saul. Yes, die without knowledge. And other kings that have died. But the hypocrites in heart heap up wrath. God allow the hypocrite to live. Because they heaping up wrath, their end is going to be even worse. They cry not when he bindeth them. No, oh, I'm just going through, I'm just a lonely child. But yet they have evil in their hearts and do evil to others. They die in youth, and their life is among the unclean. I am delivered the poor in his affliction. Because why? He repents, he changes his ways, and openeth their ears in oppression. In other words, they're willing to listen in oppression. When you're poor and you're in poverty, starving or whatever, you're going to listen. And you're going to turn to the Most High. See, the Satan's, he mocks you through other people. Oh, you were scared. You did this because you was in trouble. Yeah, I did it because I was scared and I was in trouble. Because I know God is great. He doesn't work like, ta-da, I'm God and I'm taking you. No. We have to watch the signs. You have to read the writing on the wall. Me now, take care of you farson. Yes, you have to do these things. He says now, in verse 17, but thou hast fulfilled the judgment of the wicked, the judgment of and justice take hold on thee. He's talking to Job here. Because there is wrath, beware, lest he take thee away with his stroke, and then a great ransom cannot deliver thee. But then you ask, how can one man exalt the Most High and give all the glory to the Most High, and yet none of them know what is going on in the spirit because they cannot see? Apparently this man is going under some type of test, because we know him to be a righteous man, a man that giveth, a man that escheweth evil and cleaveth that to that which is right. We understand these things, but they do not see this, being blinded in their own pride. Now, verse 19, he says, now, will he esteem thy riches? No. Not gold, nor the forces of strength. Desire not the night when people are cut off in their place. Yes, he's talking about the night when thieves, robbers, murderers, and war comes. Take heed and regard not iniquity. Job did not regard iniquity. For this hast thou chosen rather than affliction. We have to be careful even of social media, and we have to beware of any type of media and friends and company that would sway us to regard iniquity, to regard transgression against the laws, commandments, statutes, and ordinances of the Most High. Yes. Take, for instance, fornication. I mean, to test the waters. I've been dating. In other words, they're saying they've been committing whoredoms. When you date, many of them say they commit whoredoms. Most dates end up in whoredom or whoremongering, and both of them come to and commit transgression against them, that which was outside of marriage. Yes, this is what is happening. But they mix it up, they fix it up, and here's a woman, she done fixed herself, and the man done got his money together, and he's looking all debonair and everything, and then next thing you know, what's going on? They have sinned. Regardless of whether they believe in the Most High or not, they have sinned. Yes, there's no righteousness in that. When God created man and woman, he said the two shall become one. One in what? Marriage. And two becomes one. They make one. If you understand what I mean. Yes. And they can make one, and then they make another one, and make another one, and make another one. And yeah. But either way, he says now, take heed, regard not iniquity, for thou hast chosen chosen rather than affliction. He said, you choosing iniquity rather than affliction. Behold, God exalted, or the I am exalted by the I am's power. Who teaches like the I am? Did the Word that was made flesh come and teach Job at this time? I mean, you're saying the I am is, the I am has fault when you say the Word was made flesh to try to save. This is why I say this Jesus, Yahusha, is false. And all that it is all false. God can do this. God has angels to do things that God desires, and God does things through his angels and through his messengers, or himself. Or should I say God's self? I put it that way. It's kind of hard to disseminate the two because of repetition in one's mind. Yeah. Okay. He says now in verse 22, behold, God exalted by the I am's power. Who teaches like him? 23, who has enjoyed him, or the I am, his way? How can you enjoy the I am in your own ways? You can't do it. You have to do it by the commandments, statutes, ordinances, and laws of the Most High. You can't join the Most High being wicked. No. Excuse me. Or who can say thou hast wrought iniquity? Who has thou hast wrought iniquity? You can't say that to the Most High. Most High doesn't join the Most High self to those who commit transgression. No. Remember that thou magnify the I am's work, which men behold. The I am's work is all around us. Many fail to see. For the brick and the stone and the glass and the steel and the iron and all the cobalt and many things that you see beyond what the I am has put there. Then we just look at those other things as, oh, that's nice. But then we see the lights and the beautiful streets and the tall buildings and the tinkering lamps and all these. Oh, it's so, this is the works of men. But what about what God had done? You forget that. Was it not the Most High that had made the substance that men make the things that they invent out of? Yes. Let's continue. Remember that thou magnify the I am's work, which men behold. Every man may see it. Man may behold it afar off. Behold, the I am is great. All praises. And we know him not, neither can the number of the I am's years be searched out. Now, Elihu understood this. Who made God? Who made God? How God? Who made the God that made God? Are you, just like they would say, I like listening to one of the YouTube subscribers. She plays a little excerpt from the Forrest Gump movie. He says, quote unquote, are you stupid or something? Oh, my. Shout out to Miss Simone. But either way, it says, behold, God is great, and we may know him not, neither can the number of the I am's years be searched out. The only one that can claim I am the beginning and I am the end, I am the Alpha and I am the Omega is the I am, the Spirit that moved upon the water. No word, the word, he is, the Most High is. See, they have bamboozled us in many ways through the New Testament, and it is very cunning because it is a derivative of Deuteronomy chapter 28. It is to make you to forget your true king, and even with the point of Saul becoming king and David and Solomon, all those kings that have sinned before the Most High, and the Most High pardoned them many times over. But yet, seemed like the most humblest of them all, Job and the prophets and the poor, have wind up being the most perfect and the most complete amongst men that are written in the historical books. Now, let's continue. Verse 27. For the I am maketh small the crops of water, they pour down rain according to the vapor thereof, which the clouds do drop and distill upon man abundantly. Also can any understand the spreadings of the clouds, or the noise of the I am's tabernacle? Behold, the I am spreadeth the I am's light upon it, and covereth the bottom of the sea. For by them judges the I am the people. The I am giveth meat in abundance. With clouds the I am covereth the lights, and commandeth it not to shine by the cloud, and that cometh betwixt. Do you not know that these things are directed by spirits? The wind, the spirits are everywhere. The workings, even inside your own body, this is what they would call spirits. They would give them different things, but these are the workings of things that the Most High put there, and they know their job. They know what they're supposed to do. I speak, but I cannot directly feel when I'm talking. Although I'm talking, it's only coming from my brain and formed in wind and forming of the mouth into the language that I understand, that you hear. But the fact is, there are smaller entities that operate that we cannot see, inside and out, deep and far. Yes. And it sounds far-fetched, it sounds like hoodoo or voodoo or whatever, but God has ordained these things. The sun, the moon being the most major, that man had learned to number his days, because the dark and the light were the first day. There was darkness upon the face of the earth, and then light came. This is what you call by the new moon. It was the first day. But the fourth day, he actually talked about the new moon. But some would think that the new moon is the full moon. Oh! I need a video for that or something to excerpt on that, how foolish that is. But either way, would you say a 35-year-old person is a person in the middle of their life expectancy? Oh, the thing, a baby is a new person when he or she comes out of darkness from the man's scrotum into the woman's uterus to be formed and shaped by the processes that the Most High have ordained, and then it comes out a human being brand new. Then that life is seen. It has begun in darkness. It is manifested in light. The same thing with the moon, the sun, and the stars. They all came out of darkness. And he says, the Most High provides for us in verse 31. With clouds the Most High covereth the light, and commandeth it not to shine by the cloud that cometh betwixt. We see that every day. We know that the clouds are just rain, water droplets that are suspended in the sky by dust. But is it really? What is suspending this dust in the sky? I mean, this is a water vapor, and it's surrounded. Can you make a cloud with the steam here and just toss up dust and it just hovers? Some things they're hypothesized. That's an hypothesis. The noise thereof showeth concerning it, the cattle also concerning the vapor. Yes, Elihu really caused himself to is really made a fool of by the spirits that understand what is going on between Job and what the confidence that Most High has in Job, that Job has integrity toward the Most High. And Job, and the Most High knew that Job would not charge foolishly the things of the Most High because of what he suffered. Now the Satans are trying to prove the Most High wrong. This is not a bet, as some of you heard on social media. Oh, he betted against the devil. There were many devils. This is just one devil that the Most High dealt with to show that you are wrong. As I often say, the Satans accuse you to God, and they turn around and accuse God to you, that God does not exist, God has no power, that God has a son, that God has this and that. But if we keep the commandments, statutes, and ordinances of the Most High, we will have